Dear friends, we finished a c3 move and let's quickly review the lines. We go knight f6, we develop our knight and attack the center, especially this e4 pawn. Now white had 5 options. It was d4, e5, rook e1, queen e2 and queen a4. If d4, we take cd4 at first and then e4 pawn. After d5, remember this knight d6 move with idea, if bishop a4 we go b5, and depends where is going this bishop. If bishop b3, knight a5. If bishop c2, knight b4. And after knight d6, if white goes knight c3, remember this moment, don't take this bishop on b5, because after knight b5 we are having problems because of d6 move. And after knight d6, knight c3, we go a6, another good move, again attacking the bishop on b5 with same idea, if bishop a4, b5, and depends where is going this bishop, if bishop b3, knight a5, and if bishop c2, knight b4. And after a6, bishop d3 main move, here we go knight a7, not knight b8, but knight a7, where after short castle, b5, bishop b7, knight will come to the game, knight c8, protecting the e7 pawn, and going to b6, a very good place for the knight, attacking the d5 pawn. After knight f6, when white played e5, we play knight d5. Now again we want to take the e5 pawn, and after d4, cd4, we play d6, attacking opponent center, and after knight c3 we have here a good choice. We take knight c3, bc3, and whether we go short castle or we play d5, and after knight e5, bishop e5, very interesting exchange, bishop e5, d5, and short castle. After knight f6, rook e1, this was the main and probably the best move for white, we go short castle. Here after d4, instead of taking cd4 and d5, e5, knight e4, knight c3, we are allowing opponent, I offer you to go d5 immediately. e5, knight e4, here white should take bishop c6, because if knight bd2, here we will take cd4, and queen b6, and then if bishop c6, we take queen c6 instead of bc6. So after d5, e5, knight e4, white should take c6 here to force us to take the knight with the bishop with pawn. And after knight bd2, I offered you bishop f5, knight h4, e6, a very interesting option. After rook e1, short castle, if white don't go here, d4 and plays h3, prophylactic and waiting move, we go e5, a very cool move. And after bishop c6, this is 6, knight e5, we had rook e8. After d4 had two options, ed4 or cd4, simple one, cd4 and d5, cool one. And after some d3 move, I offered you queen c7, strong move with rook d8, d5. After knight f6, so when white goes queen e2, we have a few options. First is just to go short castle. If white plays e5 and takes our pawn, queen c4, knight c7, bishop c6 and queen c5, we have here bishop g4 with very cool compensation. And after queen e2, short castle, if d4, it's good for us, we take cd4, d5, and after e5, knight e4, d4 is hanging much more after queen b6, bishop g4, because queen is on e2, so d4 is less protected than it was on queen d1. And the last option of white after knight f6, it was queen a4. We go short castle, d4, take, and knight e4 again. And after d5, knight c5, we are not losing a piece. And after queen a3, the only move of white, we had two options, queen b6 and knight d4. Again, you choose the one you love more. Dear friends, we finished the c3 move, and if you will have any questions, just put them in the forum. I would love to answer all of them. And in the next section, we are jumping to rook e1 move. See you there.